Throughout history, there have been moments when people vanish, leaving behind only questions and theories. These disappearances remain unsolved to this day, perplexing historians, detectives, and experts alike. From explorers to entire settlements, today we dive deep into the most mysterious disappearances that have left the world guessing for decades, if not centuries. The story begins on a chilly Christmas Eve in 1945 in Fayetteville, West Virginia. The Sodder family, celebrating the holiday, was gathered in their cozy home when a catastrophic fire erupted, engulfing their house in flames. Amid the chaos, 5 of the 10 Sodder children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, disappeared without a trace. The fire department arrived, but by then it was too late. The home was reduced to ashes. In the aftermath, George and Jenny Sodder were devastated. They initially believed their children had perished in the fire, but as days turned into weeks, hope began to fester. They soon received strange clues that led them to suspect that their children might still be alive. Witnesses claimed to have seen the children in a passing car, and the Sodders received a peculiar phone call from an anonymous individual, suggesting that their children had been taken. As the investigation unfolded, a significant detail emerged. The fire department had declared the children dead without a thorough search for their remains. This led the Sodders to believe that the authorities had not been diligent in their investigation. Determined to find out the truth, George and Jenny launched their own investigation, putting up billboards across the country featuring photographs of their missing children and offering a reward for any information. The mystery deepened when they received a letter from a woman claiming to be one of the missing children. She mentioned her life in a different state, but when the Sodders attempted to track her down, the trail went cold. Despite their relentless efforts, the mystery of the Sodder children's disappearance remained unsolved. Theories continued to circulate. Some speculated that the children had been taken by a nearby mafia group, while others believed they might have been kidnapped by a jealous neighbor. The fact that the Sodders' house had not burned to the ground raised eyebrows. Why had no bones been discovered in the ashes? The community's speculation only heightened as the years went by. Over the decades, the Sodder family refused to give up hope. They even erected a memorial for their children, insisting they would never cease searching for them. For many years, they kept the story alive, turning their grief into a relentless pursuit of justice. Unfortunately, the mystery of the Sodder children remains unsolved, a haunting tale that still puzzles experts and captivates those who hear it. As we reflect on this tragic story, we must ask ourselves, what truly happened to the Sodder children that fateful night? Was it a tragic accident, or was there something more sinister at play? This enduring mystery remains one of America's most unsettling, unsolved cases. Next, we turn our attention to the Roanoke Colony, established in the late 16th century. This early settlement, located on Roanoke Island in present-day North Carolina, was one of the first attempts by the English to establish a permanent presence in the New World. Led by John White, the colony initially flourished, with the settlers relying on local resources and trade. However, in 1587, after a supply mission back to England, John White returned to find the colony utterly deserted. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan carved into a tree. What could have happened to the 115 settlers? Many theories abound, from relocation to the nearby Croatoan island to being wiped out by conflict or disease. Over the years, historians have investigated the disappearance, with some believing that the settlers may have assimilated into local tribes. Others suggest they may have fallen victim to hostile Native American groups. The truth remains elusive, leaving a profound mystery surrounding the fate of the Roanoke Colony. Despite numerous archaeological efforts, no definitive evidence has emerged to solve the puzzle. Today, the story of the Roanoke Colony stands as a chilling reminder of the dangers faced by early settlers in an unknown land. On December 5, 1945, 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, collectively known as Flight 19, took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on a routine training mission. Commanded by Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor, the flight was intended to last just a few hours. However, as the hours passed, communication with the planes became increasingly erratic. The flight's instruments malfunctioned, and the planes became disoriented. Taylor reported that he believed they were over the Florida Keys, when in fact they were likely over the Bermuda Triangle, a region notorious for unexplained disappearances. Distressed, he requested to land on the water. After hours of searching, the U.S. Navy dispatched a rescue plane, but it too disappeared without a trace. Despite extensive search efforts involving dozens of aircraft and ships, no wreckage was ever found. The incident raised questions about the infamous Bermuda Triangle, igniting a wave of speculation about paranormal activities and natural phenomena. Witnesses reported strange atmospheric conditions on the day, with unusual cloud formations and magnetic anomalies affecting compass readings. These factors added to the growing mystery, and as the days went by without any sign of wreckage or survivors, theories flourished. Some attributed the disappearances to extreme weather conditions, while others speculated about undersea methane gas eruptions, capable of sinking ships and planes. Of course, the Bermuda Triangle, with its long history of mysterious vanishings, continued to fuel the idea that something far beyond human understanding might be at work. Even now, more than 70 years later, the fate of Flight 19 and the rescue plane remains an unsolved enigma, adding another layer of intrigue to the Triangle's infamous reputation. In 1966, 3 siblings, Jane, Arna, and Grant Bowmont, vanished from a beach in Glenelg, South Australia, while on a day trip with their father. The children were last seen playing near the shoreline, and when their father returned to check on them, they had inexplicably disappeared. Despite an extensive search by the police and volunteers, no trace of the Bowmont children was ever found. Witnesses claimed to have seen the 3 children in the company of a tall, blond man around the beach, leading to speculation that they may have been abducted. The case gripped Australia, with thousands of tips pouring in, but none led to a definitive breakthrough. Strangely, Jane, the oldest of the siblings, was reportedly seen purchasing food at a nearby shop, something she would not have normally done without her parents' permission. This led investigators to consider the possibility that the children may have been lured away by someone who had gained their trust. Adding to the mystery, the family dog, who had accompanied the children to the beach, was found wandering alone, further deepening the mystery of their whereabouts. Despite a massive search and public involvement, no trace of the Bowmont children or their belongings was ever found. Over the years, numerous leads were followed, homes were searched, and areas of interest were dug up. Yet the case remains unsolved. Though new leads occasionally reignite hope, none have led to answers. The disappearance of the Bowmont children endures as one of Australia's most haunting unsolved mysteries. These unsolved mysteries, whether it's the disappearance of the Soldering Children, the Bowmont children, Flight 19, or the lost Roanoke Colony, continue to intrigue and haunt us. The truth behind them remains elusive, leaving us captivated and searching for answers. If you're fascinated by stories like these, be sure to subscribe and join us as we explore more perplexing and chilling mysteries.